People will do anything for money. There's a YouTube strategy I just heard about. The idea is you create sleep content. You create, think of it as maybe a 10-hour audio soundtrack. The thesis behind these channels is to create a monetized option for people who like to put on a piece of content before they go to sleep. And what happens is YouTube thinks that this is engaging content because they see unbelievable watch time hours. Wow, it's a person sat there and watched this content for 10 straight hours. This must be valuable. We're going to push this out to more people, and the cycle continues. Problem is the whole thing falls apart in terms of the earnestness of the way the actual experience works. Because think about it. They're placing mid-roll ads in this 10-hour piece of sleep content. So a person turns their trusty, reliable sleep content on, lays down in bed, is calmed, relaxed, starts to drift off to sleep, but then ultimately, violently, throughout the course of the night, their subconscious mind is being assaulted by a series of mid-roll ads that, the person's asleep. Okay, they're not going to skip the ads. And that sound and information is just getting kind of like deeply inserted into the subconscious portions of that listener as they sleep. It's very creepy to me. And the funny thing about it, or the sad thing about it, is I bet you that advertisers don't hate this as a concept. It's like it's basically brainwashing a person to sit through the entirety of their ad. A lot of people will watch their videos. They'll hit the skip button when the ad comes up. It's normal behavior. But if a person who's paying to have that ad run hears that it's being pumped into the mind of the potential client consumer in full while they sleep, while their conscious faculties aren't there to block it out, I think that could be considered a win from a effective marketing reach. It's sad. It's weird. The tough thing about it is it probably works. Like, let's say that you didn't care about anything except using YouTube as a game platform to make the numbers and the charts go in the directions that they need to go. And that's the only thing that mattered. This idea could work. I think there's tons of people doing it already, maybe to the point where now you're competing with other people doing this. But watch time, mid-roll ads, algorithmic feedback. I wonder if one day YouTube will improve their automated detection and functionality of the algorithm to circumvent this. I doubt it's even an issue for them because, again, watch time, ad revenue, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So that's a category that exists. I think it's kind of gross, but I understand why people would do it. I'm not getting on a soapbox here or anything. I'm using this to build toward a greater point I'm trying to make, though. I'm not really sure what the difference between a good movement and a bad movement is. I've only recently started thinking about this as a concept. But there is one observation I have when it comes to movements. And here's what I want to warn you about and suggest that you keep an eye out for. The moment you hear somebody talking about a movement, pay attention and see if potentially that isn't just a code word for them getting you to work on something for free. When you get people to join a movement and when you radicalize them into deeply believing in that movement, the sky is the limit. Because now it's no longer about an actual business relationship. It's basically an unpaid internship, which could potentially be completely open-ended and drift forward for years and years and years and years. Or at least insofar as that you provide yourself useful to the people who have convinced you to join that movement. Beware of movements. We won't go over 15,000 examples of horrible predatory movements. But one thing I do want to figure out is it possible to create a movement that's actually good? That's good. That doesn't weaponize people's time for the sake of the movement. I'm trying to think of an example of what one might be, and I'm having trouble doing it. So I've been listening to a lot of my new favorite marketing hero, Seth Godin. I actually think this is a good guy that's worth your time. I think you should look up some of his videos on YouTube. He's got a lot of interviews, speeches. He has some books as well. This is a good guy. I think he's wholesome, and I think he's smart, and I'm not seeing very many, if any, red flags that makes him anything like a lot of these blatantly predatory get money guys, right? He is a breath of fresh air in many ways. He talks a lot about how strategy is everything, and I do agree with that. Your strategy is the only thing that matters. If you have a good strategy, life is easy because then all you need to do is execute underneath the umbrella of the strategy. That's it. That's your educational masterclass for today, said in a sentence and a half. He talks about a formula where basically all you have to do is, like I just said, have the right strategy, but in addition to that, do remarkable things. Now that's easier said than done, but the reason you do remarkable things is so that people will naturally remark about what you did. And why is that powerful? Because if people are inspired to remark, they just inadvertently became your organic sales team, bringing awareness to the people in their life. And why are these people remarking about what you did? Because it elevates the person who is remarking to a higher level of status in their inner circle, in their personal social circles. They get credit for being the one who told you first about something that is worth hearing about, something interesting, something remarkable. In order to be remarkable, one must do something that is worth making a remark about. It doesn't mean you need to do like crazy, ridiculous, over-the-top things, but you have to do things that are good enough to the point where somebody else wants to tell someone else about it. So, simple concepts that these are the questions you need to be asking yourself if you want to be doing something as a person and achieving an influence over people in their day-to-day lives. You don't need to advertise what you're doing in terms of your strategy if you're just simply doing remarkable things. I've been working on this idea, this network idea, guys. I think I have something, a framework, a vision. You know how people always say, oh, you got to think big. Well, here's my big idea. And I think it's interesting. I think there could be something here. I want to have the strategy, the systems, the framework, the vision, the philosophy. I want all this stuff ironed out and in place so that everything's clear, everything makes sense, and we have something that we can collectively work on together here. So, first of all, this is my new business. This is my network. But a network isn't much of a network without people who enter into the network. This network is, it's a content creation network. You could think of it as a virtual studio, a digital club or membership. So the whole idea is we're going to build a YouTube creators membership guild. Okay, I got to paint the vision for you here. So just go with me for a second. It's a guild, it's a network, it's a private membership organization. We are all going to build businesses for ourselves, and we're going to be YouTubers, and hopefully maybe even you might already be one, which is great. But hear me out. You're going to create a YouTube channel, and you're going to start making content. And you've got to get your channel to the point where you hit that milestone of becoming basically monetized. I'll have to double check on this. I'm pretty sure it used to be like 1,000 subs and 4,000 watch hours. I think it's actually even gotten slightly easier recently, where it's now like 500 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours within the span of 1 year. So we're not going to go into the logistics and the strategy around doing that, but you just have to understand that that's an important component of this, and I'll explain why. So once you have your new channel and you've been monetized and you apply for the YouTube partnership program and you get approved, you're going to immediately go to the membership section in your YouTube studio panel, and you're going to enable the $1 YouTube membership support thing. Okay, you're going to create one, but you're only going to create this one tier. You're not going to create all sorts of different layers and levels. You're only going to create the $1 tier, because YouTube takes a 30% cut off of anything that comes in the door in the form of a super chat, a super thanks, or one of these membership pledges. So we're going to set up the $1 tier. That's your toe in the water to you building your own community and having a metric where you can basically continue to do your content. And I would suggest, you can do this any way you want. I would suggest at the very end of every one of your videos, you just quickly shout it out. You say, hey, it would mean the world to me if you would consider joining my $1 YouTube membership. So that's built into this as an idea. Okay, and why are we not using anything else beyond the $1 YouTube membership? Again, it comes back to that 30% cut that YouTube takes. So what are we going to do about this? Well, we need to set up a separate platform. But which platform do we set up? I'm sure people have heard of things like Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee. There's different platforms, right? But the one we're going to use is Fourth Wall. I'm not sure if you've heard of Fourth Wall. It's been around for a while. It has a decent reputation. It's not one of these shady sites. As far as I've researched, I've looked up sentiment about this service. It's a lot of people love it, okay? But it's kind of like a print-on-demand kind of merchandising type platform, right? It's completely free. You sign up. You create a storefront, okay? And this is part of your new digital business, digital empire. And it's going to take care of a bunch of things that I think
elegantly connects your YouTube venture and additional layers and systems of infrastructure that make sense for what we're doing. So on you're going. Oh, and also what's great about Fourth Wall is it's one of a handful of platforms that directly integrate with your now monetized YouTube channel and basically lets you, there's a feature, it's called, I think it's YouTube Shopping or something, right? But basically it's an integrated storefront for your channel. So once you set this up, and let's say you created a product, get everything linked together, wait for a basic approval thing, which shouldn't be an issue. I think YouTube sort of like approves each product as it comes in. And blam, once you get that set up, now your Fourth Wall merchandise digital product shop is now integrated, and that appears on all of your YouTube videos. So if you look at my channel, for example, and I just kind of did this on a whim, I never thought to myself, oh my gosh, I'm going to sell 1 million coffee mugs. I just thought it was funny to make a coffee mug, right? And every one of the videos that gets posted has this little coffee mug for sale. And people click on the mug and it takes them to your Fourth Wall page, which is all we're really trying to get them to do, okay? It's just a simple way that's built in to YouTube. You don't have to put like a separate link in the description. You just set things up, and that's the viewer's route over to your Fourth Wall. So what are we actually doing with our Fourth Wall? Okay, well, this is where we're setting up our our, I don't want to call them actual memberships, because the dollar memberships are wonderful, right? They're wonderful. It's a wonderful system, and we appreciate anyone who's done that. But it's important to set up however you're going to do your various pricing tiers through Fourth Wall, because when Fourth Wall functions as your kind of membership system, it allows a person to pledge per month, let's say, to be a member, and they just take like significantly less of a cut than YouTube would have, right? So if somebody had given you $10 as a pledge through YouTube, they take 30% of that. But Fourth Wall, it's significantly less. Okay, there's still a processing fee. I don't have the exact numbers for you, right? But it's closer to like 95. You get more like 95%. So if a person pledges $10, you're getting more like a little over $9. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now, what does it make sense to charge though for your different membership tiers? Well, you do not want to put $1 membership option on Fourth Wall. Okay, we've already taken care of that through YouTube. So specifically don't do that, especially because Fourth Wall takes a way bigger cut than YouTube when we're just talking about $1. Okay, so you start with $10. $10 is your, we'll call it level 2 membership tier. Okay, this is your fandom tier. Okay, this is like people really like you. They want to see you keep going. They show up every time you create a new video. These are your like strong fans. Okay, like these are people who are just like 10 times more serious than those willing to pledge $1. Okay, so hopefully we get people that you can connect with over time to pledge $10 a month. Now, in terms of what you are going to offer in return for that, that's a whole other discussion. We're not going to get into that right now. Let me just finish my thoughts on these tiers. Okay. Now, what is the next tier? Well, the next tier is going to be a $100 Fourth Wall monthly pledge. All right, $100. Now, this is just the high I guess you could call it like the pro tier, right? That's the pro tier. Like, these people really have been convinced by you that you've earned their support. And again, we won't get into the logistics of exactly why, or if, you know, it's possible you're selling them something, you're offering something to them. We won't gum everything up about that right this second. And then you're going to have one final tier. This is your legendary tier, okay? And this is your $1,000 a month pledge tier. And that's it. Those are going to be your 4 different options for people. $1 through YouTube memberships, $10 through Fourth Wall, $100 through Fourth Wall, $1,000 through Fourth Wall. Okay? You follow so far? Now, beyond that, if you want, Fourth Wall has a donation feature built in. Like when you get into the Fourth Wall ecosystem, you're going to see they've got a completely no-code, easy to use, kind of I guess you would call it a landing page. It's your storefront. Okay? It's your Fourth Wall storefront. And you can configure it, right? And if you want an example of how that looks, just go look at mine. Go to the little coffee mug in the bottom left of the video and take a look at how I've set mine up, okay? And there's a donation option. If somebody is so inspired to give you a donation, great. Their money is gonna be more honored by them using the Fourth Wall system. You know, you can still accept super chats or super thanks or whatever through YouTube. That's fine. You can leave all that on if you want. There's less friction for certain people to do things that way. But this is a dedicated location for you for donations. The presets, they put some presets in there. It's like $5, $10, $20, or custom, and then they can just give you a donation. Simple. And then they can leave their name and a message if they want. The Fourth Wall also completely takes care of your merchandising system. So you don't have to have merchandise, but it's a great option for it, right? Like let's say you develop a brand or a saying or a design or a quote or something that is in alignment with what your channel and what you represent is all about. You could make a t-shirt, you could make a hoodie, you could make a freaking coffee mug. There's all kinds of stuff you can make. Now, I don't suggest just making thousands of products, just like every single product they have to offer. I think you should sort of like elegantly select a few things that make sense. And if you want to include them on there, it doesn't mean anyone's going to buy them necessarily, but it's possible. It's possible for you to promote these things, and there you go, boom. People can come to your Fourth Wall store. As you populate these physical products, these can be lined up in a small little gallery at the bottom of each of your videos. Okay, so maybe you make like 4 or 5 products if you want, and there you go. You got them listed out at the bottom of every one of your videos. Okay, that's another way people can support you through the Fourth Wall system. What else? There is a built-in mailing list system through Fourth Wall. You can turn it on if you want. That could be useful. I think also when people come to Fourth Wall and by them simply participating in purchasing or donating or pledging for a membership, they also have the option to opt into, I'm pretty sure it's like the same mailing list system, but you can have a separate mailing list. People can say, hey, I want to be on the mailing list. Maybe if you wanted to do a newsletter, maybe this is an option for that. I don't know if Fourth Wall is the ultimate platform for running a newsletter or building a mailing list, but if you want, you can turn it on. There you go. What else am I missing here? Oh, and then also, because we are YouTube creators building our YouTube channels, there's another little module you can add, which just shows like the latest 3 videos you made, a little thumbnail for them. That's just another thing you can place into your Fourth Wall. You can choose the number of recent videos that you want shown there. Perhaps one of those will catch the attention of a person who visits your Fourth Wall site. Even if they come, take a look, and didn't move forward with one of the various options that you can do with the site, even having them just click on your next video, that's a win, okay? So you can have it there, maybe just have 3 videos or have 6 videos, something like that. And that's pretty much it for Fourth Wall. Oh, you can set up Discord integration through Fourth Wall. So if you did decide you wanted to do like a Discord community, the features themselves are not robust, but it's enough for you to just have a community. Maybe you have a private channel in your Discord where only the paying members can get access to. So, but the one thing it doesn't do, it does not allow you to have like multiple different private channels, like different tiers, and it doesn't automatically assign a person a role across many different tiers. So the way I did it for mine is I just made it so that if you sign up for the $10 membership, I've applied that Discord automatic role assignment integration for the $10 tier. And if anybody wants to sign up for the $100 or the $1,000 tier, I've just kind of decided I'll just manually identify that person and assign the role manually. So that takes care of that. There is Discord integration for the $1 YouTube memberships, but I regret to inform you that it's a little bit clunky. It doesn't quite work the way I expected. It's possible I'm missing something or not quite getting it, but like I kind of think that I wouldn't even bother using the Discord integration for your $1 members. I would just make the Discord invite link available to anybody who subscribes to the $1 YouTube membership. Allow them to join. Hope for the best. It's possible somebody could leak the invite, but you just gotta work with this system and what we have and navigate it somehow. It's not the end of the world. Hopefully it won't be a big issue, right? If it ever reached such a critical mass, that's where we can look into other systems that maybe don't apply to this. But I'm just trying to give you the most simplified, streamlined thing. Like, this is something you could sit down and set up in a day or two. Assuming you've fulfilled the initial criteria of having a monetized YouTube channel. Now, here's another thing too. Even if you're not at a point where you're monetized, you could still set all of this up in terms of a fourth wall, get all of this in place right away, and just put the fourth wall link on the second line of the description of every one of the videos you release, right? Which makes that immediately visible and gets that pipeline in place, okay? You don't have to wait to be monetized in order for you to do this fourth wall based strategy and just start shouting out the link in your description, the fourth wall link, okay? So that's another pro tip for you. Yeah, so everything I've been discussing and what I'm trying to present to you right now, this is just the system, okay? This isn't the hard part, but hopefully it will streamline things in a way where once it's set up, there's not that much you have to stress out about or do or worry about. And now you can just focus on creating content, making those meaningful connections, making amazing videos, just, and then at the end of each video, just shout out your fourth wall, right? Join the $10 fourth wall membership. I beg of thee, That, I think, is a simple formula. Make a video, shout out the link. Another opinion, if you'll indulge me. You know how people will, for a long time, back when things like followers or subscribers mattered more, there was a pattern where people would say, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. I think that's over. I don't think it's that people do still do that, and it may even encourage people to do as such. So that's up to you to decide. I don't think it's tasteful to say that. I think that that's a tactic that may be effective, but it's kind of redundant, right? And I'll tell you why. Even if people aren't liking, subscribing, or ringing the bell, trust me, you can tell this from your own experience watching YouTube every day, is if you're watching a certain creator or channel and you're putting time into that channel, YouTube is going to bring that that person's channel up in your feed again. That's just how it works. Okay? And the only thing, well, I don't want to say the only thing that matters. One of the most important things that really matter is how much time you're spending watching a person's channel. If you sit there and watch from start to finish a certain person's channel, every time a new video of theirs comes out, YouTube's going to keep bringing that up. You're going to notice it. You're going to click on it. You're going to watch it in full. That's effectively the same thing as being a subscriber or a person who's liking or ringing the bell or any of that. There's people I've watched for years, and I don't know why, but I'm stingy with who I subscribe to, right? But YouTube just takes care of that all for us now. So you don't have to like or subscribe or ring that bell anymore. In fact, don't even mention it. When you start a video, just get right to the point. Just launch into it. Don't waste people's time. Say what has to be said. With relative expedience. Take if you need time to sit there and say something, take the time you need. Just let's go, everyone. Make the video. Get us right into it. Don't say hello. Don't say, hey, it's your boy. Back with another block, rock, and beat. Don't do that. Just get right to it. A lot of people say, hey, it's super important to start with a hook. If you want to start with a hook, fine. If possible, don't make it some inorganic, fabricated hook. Just, look, talk to people like a freaking person. The way that you talk. Think of it as like you stepping on stage. You got an audience full of people, and it's your job to not make a fool of yourself, not stammer and waste people's time, or say, hold on a second, I'll be right back, and then they got to sit there for 10 seconds. Just get right to it. Make your presentation. Do the best job you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just do a good job. Launch into your video. Make your presentation. Say what you have to say. Whatever it is, in whatever category that your particular style, your vision. And then at the very end, shout out your fourth wall. Shout out, hey bros, join the $1 YouTube membership. Your support would be amazing if you feel I've earned it. I don't want anything more than $1. I want everyone contributing $1. Just, work on, you'll have to figure out the exact pitch, but it doesn't take an hour to plead with people to support you. And you know what? If they like you and they want to support you, then they will. Especially if it's only $1. Okay? It's only $1. I don't think you should promote the merchandise in fourth wall. I mean, that's up to you. I don't like that as an idea. I don't know. This is just my little preference, right? I think it's better to just encourage people to become your monthly supporter. I like the idea of working on building a community, having a separate Discord where people can hang out and talk, and something bigger can crystallize over time other than just you creating content to the void. So I like that. Bringing people together under your umbrella, galvanizing a certain topic, a certain thrust, a certain mission. So those are some of my tips for today. I have another big topic I want to get into, but let me take a short break and then I'll expand on that. So let's just review everything I've covered. You're going to start a YouTube channel or take one that you already have. If you already have a Gmail account, and maybe even potentially you made a YouTube channel but didn't do anything with it, use that channel because that's considered a seasoned account. Don't get too stuck on this. It's okay also to just create one and start releasing like a video a day. That's totally fine. But, it takes a little bit of back and forth for YouTube to trust that you're not a bot. So there's a little bit of a ramping up period of time. But don't think that you won't get views on your first video. Oh, I don't have any subscribers, I won't get any views. That's not how YouTube works anymore. YouTube seeds a new channel. They're going to bring you viewers. So just create a video every day, all right? And just make it the best you can. Make it the best video you can. So you're going to create your YouTube channel, get things in motion, learn the system, get comfortable with it. It's a wonderful system. Take a little bit of time to learn some of the details about it, but it's not difficult. Just spend some time with it. Hang out in there every day. You'll get the hang of it in no time. All right? Maybe make a logo for yourself. Come up with a cool name. Put a banner on there. And start making content. Then you're going to create a fourth wall account. You're going to do everything I said. You're going to set up the $10 tier, the $100 tier, the $1,000 tier. We will revisit the idea around that later. But just do those things. Create one shop item. You can just copy what I did. Create a mug. You can just leave the prices as they are. And create your donation, create your page, the no code page, set all that up, make it nice. You can pick the colors you want. Very simple to do. You can customize it. It's easy. They made it super easy. Now you've got a shop. Okay, you've got a digital shop. Start putting the link to your fourth wall in your description and shout it out at the end of every video. You can shout it out in the middle if you want. You could shout it out at the beginning if you want. I like the idea of you show up, you don't waste any time, you present what you're there to present, and then you just tuck it in at the end. All right? Because if a person isn't going to watch all the way to the end, then there's no way they're going to listen to your call to action. So it's almost completely a waste of time to promote your product before you make the presentation. The whole point is you brought something of value that day. Now that person's like, wow, that was worth my time. You know what? Maybe I will do the call to action. So it's all in alignment. Voila. And then just start making content. Everything people have been saying about thumbnails is true. Thumbnails are super, super important. I'm going to give you the strategy that I've been using lately that I think is fine. There could be better ones, but I think it's fine, okay? Just use ChatGPT. Get the $20 a month membership. And there's even pre-programmed GPTs that you can dig up in the ChatGPT library that are for thumbnail creation, okay? Don't just do nothing for the thumbnail, all right? Just try to come up with a creative image. I like the idea of you put a couple words in the thumbnail and then never the same words in the thumbnail that are in the title, okay? The title and the thumbnail, it's true. It's really important, okay? And long story short, if nothing else, just try to create a sense of curiosity so that the person reads it and says, you don't have to, don't spoil what's in your video in the thumbnail and title. You can tease it if you want to, but you're just trying to evoke a sense of curiosity. It takes practice. You can learn a lot by just studying videos, browsing things on incognito mode through Chrome, on a YouTube. just on YouTube directly. You can learn a lot there, okay? That's a good strategy too. Just if you're like, what am I going to do for my title and thumbnail? Well, just stop what you're doing, pull up incognito, look through some stuff, and draw inspiration from something, from someone, right? If you have to, you can copy a concept and then kind of put your spin on it. So use ChatGPT when you're take your time when doing the thumbnail. Like work on it. Go back and forth with the bot. I mean, it's possible you just tell it to give you something and it pops out perfect. That does happen. But go back and forth with it. Tell it to modify it. Tell it to change the colors. Tell it to add some glow effect. Yeah, you're going to go back and forth with ChatGPT. You know, ChatGPT is your freelance artist. Just tell it what you want. Say, hey, that needs to be glowing. Put some neon lines in the background. Put a highly reflective surface. Change the girl's hair to black. Put sunglasses on the freaking horse. Put some ridiculous cop sunglasses on the horse. Put one word, panic, on the right. Make that text gold. Chrome, shiny, gold, something like that. The thumbnail, you're going to tell every time it's going to try and pop out a square thing, just say, hey, no, it has to be 16 by 9 widescreen. There's one little annoying thing about this, which I've noticed, but it's not enough for me to be like, it works so well now that they have like improved this a lot. It didn't work this good even like a few months ago. It didn't work this good, so they upgraded something about it. It doesn't quite give you the exact shape you need for the YouTube thumbnail. All your YouTube thumbnails have to be 1280 by 720. So it's like a widescreen 16 by 9 format, but it's 1280 by 720. So you're going to need, if you have Photoshop, you can use that. Here's another tip. You can download a completely free Photoshop alternative. It's called Medibang. I'm going to spell that for you. Medibang. Medibang. It's a lot. It works just like Photoshop. A lot of the commands are pretty similar. Not everything's exactly the same. It's great. It's 100% free. You can use that. Jump into there, create a new document, specify 1280 by 720. Generate your thumbnail in ChatGPT. You're going to have to crop a little bit up from either the top or the bottom, and you're going to have to do some slight resizing. So copy the design you like, bring it over to Medibang, paste it in there. Then you're going to hit Control T, which is kind of like a resizing transform thing. You're going to grab the bottom right hand corner and drag it up and kind of like get it like closer to the proportion you need for the 720 by 1280 by 720. Hit enter, and then you're going to kind of like, I think you press the V button, which is kind of like, hey, I want to move this layer around, and then you grab it. You can slide it up and just try and frame it out. Try and get the text centered up, or just make it aesthetic. Okay, this is up to you to figure this part out. That's what I do, and it works fine. If you really want to get nuanced with thumbnail design, you can create up to 3 thumbnails, and you can put them into the A/B, C, testing functionality of the little section where you're putting your thumbnail into your uploaded video. It says, hey, I want to test and compare. And you can put up to 3 designs in there. If you want to do that, you can do that. I kind of go back and forth on that. Sometimes I'll just make 2 designs and I'll A/B compare those. Let them run for a few days and then go and you can kind of check the early results and potentially pick one at that moment, or just let it run a full test, which I think takes 14 days, and then it'll just automatically pick the one that did slightly better than the other, or maybe even dramatically better. You never really know. And that's up to you. Now, it's going to take a little bit more work, but that could be worth it. That could make all the difference in the world. You never know. So, but it does take time. Like, honestly, I almost think it takes just as much time to do a thumbnail and a title as it does the actual video. Especially if you're not trying to make some kind of incredibly comprehensive, advanced video production with all sorts of dynamic edits and things going on. I'm not trying to make videos like that. I don't think it's worth it to go down that road. Plenty of people do. But, a lot of people who do that sort of thing, they have teams of people, freelancers, who are sitting around editing their stuff and adding all this B-roll and effects. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I think your channel, it could be better overall to not overwhelm yourself, especially at first, with highly advanced, all sorts of stuff going on, edits. I think you should just make a video if you have the nerve to record yourself. Maybe just chilling in your office, get the lighting as good as you can, or even just walking around outside in the sunlight or through the woods or anything, right? I think that all of those are very respectable and reproducible. So the thumbnail and the title, it does take a lot more energy out of you than you would think. It's gotten really popular for people to say, hey, you actually want to design the thumbnail and the title first. I don't think I necessarily agree with that, or nor do I guess if you were doing like some serious major production on something, then yeah, you probably want to plan all that stuff out in advance. But don't skimp on the thumbnail and the title, because your otherwise amazing video could die in the water if you run out of steam right when you get to that point. You're just like, whatever, just let it ride. And that's going to really crush your morale. So don't do that. So I want to talk for a minute about trust. And I want to say that in the context of trust building between you and the person you're communicating with on the other side of your YouTube video, the goal is not to get them to trust you as a manipulation gambit to then further bend their will to your benefit. That's not the goal. It's okay to be operating your own little business and to want to reach out to people and encourage them to become a supporter of yours. But it's a little bit icky to use manipulation tactics to win that trust. Furthermore, I think there's kind of two categories of trust we can identify here. Even if a person, because when you hear about the concept of trust forming between two individuals, it's not necessarily always in the context of them liking you or even supporting you. There are people I watch on YouTube who I strongly dislike as human beings. I find them vile, abominations of personality and philosophy and spirituality and everything. But I do trust them. I trust them insofar as that I hate them. And what is it I'm trusting? I trust that when I click on their video, that I'm going to get a certain vibe and energy and presentation that I can expect and rely upon. So I trust people that I actively dislike. Does that make sense? I think the worst thing, I think the least ideal result that can take place is to be somebody who shows up in front of their audience and there's just there's no real major opinion there. It's just like, I don't particularly like this person. I don't particularly dislike this person. I think you need to, I'm not saying intentionally be someone you're not just for the sake of being polarizing as a fake thing, but rather it's okay to be polarizing. It's okay to be hyperbolic, to make a fun, entertaining presentation, to rant and rave, or tell a dramatic story that evokes a certain sense of emotion. But I think ideally, by the time a person sits through what you have to say on any particular day, they will hopefully feel strongly one way or the other. It's great to have people who hate you. I don't think you should get stuck on this thing where it's like, hey, I want to be liked and approved and accepted by my audience. I think that's a trap. I think it's like, it's simple economics. There's no way that you're for everyone, and you have to have your own opinions, thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and it's okay to lean into those, even if they alienate a certain type of viewer. But it's actually good to alienate certain people, because now we have something happening here. Now it's a party. Now there's some activity here. Think about pro wrestling. I think pro wrestling's the best analogy for this. Okay, you got your heroes, your villains. It would be really boring if that storyline didn't exist and there was no conflict. So if you're the type of person who gets a mean comment and that bothers you, I want you to do a simple exercise. I want you to pin the hate comment when it comes in. Pin the hate comment. It's very funny. I mean, I didn't come up with that idea, but that's a very funny thing to do. Pin your hate comments. They're great. It's so much more of an achievement to get a hate comment than for someone to just show up and then, even if they watched the video, maybe they left early, they just say nothing at all. In order to be remarkable, you have to do something worth making a remark about. Shout outs to Seth Godin. He's my guy now. And what is a comment? A comment is a remark. Now, it's not like a remark outside of that immediate video, but it's a freaking remark. Okay? Anything that gets somebody to type a comment, it's a massive win. It's a massive win. The more, the better. If you woke up one day and your video is just unexpectedly flooded with hate comments, that's huge. That's awesome. That freaking rules. And pick the best one, the meanest one, and pin that right at the top. Pin it, and then heart it, thumbs up it. You could even get funny with it. I'm trying to think of some funny responses. You could put like, you know what, you're right. I really think I should delete my channel. Hey, I'm so sorry. Please let me make it up to you. I don't know. I'm running out of ideas, but you can get creative with it. Lean into it. Parody it. You can tell them, hey, my account got hacked. This isn't even me. I don't know what happened. Just do something silly with it. But pin your hate comments. Yeah. And I swear, I'm not trying to become like the YouTube growth guru guy. I'm really not. I don't know if I'm even that person who's most suitable for that, but I did come up with an idea that I wanted to run by you, which could be cool. It's at least something I haven't seen anyone else doing this, so let me run it by you. I'll try to explain it in the simplest way possible, but there's a couple moving parts to it. And if you think this has potential or is cool, please let me know. Or if you have some way of modifying it in a way that makes it way better or smarter or more sensible or more streamlined, please let me know. So here we go. So I'm going to create a network, right? I've already got the network. It's my Discord, right? And I've got different layers on the network, different tiers. And I've got my $1 YouTube membership people. They all get access to layer 1, that first private layer. Then I've got my fourth wall, where I've got my $10 tier, my $100 tier, and my $1,000 tier. Okay? And each one of those is connected to a higher and higher level in the private membership Discord network. So everybody who donates $1 to me, that's like supporter light. It's like super appreciative of that. The most frictionless way that you can support this person's work for $1 a month. The people who are so gracious as to pledge $10 a month, those are kind of like the core fan level, right? They just love you. They think you're worth $10 a month. They love your videos. They're your fan. Like, But check this out. Once we start to get to the higher levels, here's where I want to get a little bit more interesting with it. So I want to make a deal with the audience and pitch an idea where I want people to start joining my network, become a part of this community, right? Start to talk to one another through the Discord platform, through the comments, whatever. Once we start to get people who are contributing $100 a month, these are now what I would call network supporters, okay? 50% of those funds go into my war chest, which, to be honest, it's just like living expenses, the business, right? It covers things like taxes, fees, whatever. The other 50% gets broken up into $10 chunks. And then everything that I've talked about with the idea of me trying to get you to start your own channel, set up your fourth wall account, set up your dollar memberships, whatever. What we now do is we're distributing that $50 to people in the network. Now, I understand it's not like, think of it this way. That's $50 of the $100 that was donated. We break it up into $10 per month pledge chunks. Then 5 people in the network, based on some system, okay? It's probably just going to be one of these things where it's just up to my discretion, because I don't really know how to do it in any other way that doesn't create problems or makes it feel unfair to people or whatever. It's probably just got to be my burden to figure that part out. And so basically, like 5 of the people in the network, whether they're a $1 supporter or a $10 supporter or 100 or 1,000 or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, it might make most sense just to be like, if you're in the network, you're in the network. 5 of those people will be selected and pledged that $10 per month booster. So, and then insofar as that original network supporter who's putting the $100 up each month, as long as that can remain active, those 5 people should have that steady stream of support coming in. So that's the idea. And then the same concept applies to what I'm calling the legend supporter tier, which is the $1,000 a month tier. That $1,000, same concept as the $100 one. 50% of it goes into the war chest, into the business, okay? And then the other 50% gets broken up. That would be 50 people who could be designated that $10 support thing. Once again, it would have to be by my discretion. I would have to evaluate things via some method. I haven't figured that part out, okay? But the core concept, I think, is there. Figure out the details later. And now it's become this thing. It's like a YouTube creators guild infrastructure network, and then basically we hang out in the Discord almost like you're going to a shared workspace, a digital office, and we're all working together on our channels. It's like you hang out, you're seeing people, you're meeting people. Maybe we get people to start collabing with each other, doing podcasts together. I thought it would be really funny to have a system where we're kind of watching each other's channels potentially, because you're going to meet these people and be like, hey, this is my channel, like, check it out. Can I get some feedback? Audit my channel, whatever. And, we're checking out each other's channels. I think it would be funny if we started to leave voice messages for one another, and then that becomes an opportunity to do reaction to it's almost like somebody called you and left a voicemail, and you can play feedback from members in the network. And, and every one of us is doing my revolutionary $1 YouTube membership idea for all of the reasons that I've presented, which I think make total sense. And we're all doing our fourth walls. We got our 10, our 100, and our $1,000 tiers. And then everyone else is kind of like like, I'm not saying you would have to copy the concept of what I'm building, but maybe they put their own spin on it, or they just come up. Maybe some people are just like, hey, these tiers represent me as a freelancer providing a service. Or I think it's totally fine if like you're legitimately not scamming people. Maybe you're doing like coaching or mentoring or services rendered, whatever. And everybody's working on their business models, and we're all sharing with each other, and we're sharing our victories with one another. But my particular thing would be like, okay, I'm the center of my little universe, and I love the idea of growing the network and giving people that little tiny boost. Okay, and that's my idea. Like, oh, and here's the best I could come up with for an excuse as to why you just might be able to convince someone who I would think probably has plenty of money. I mean, there are some seriously rich people in this world. I need to remind you of that. I know $1,000 a month seems like not a lot, but just trust me, there's some seriously rich people out there, okay? And I don't want this to sound like a tax loophole, because it's not. This would not be like, hey, we're operating a non-profit. No, nothing like that. This is just a normal digital business, right? And we're selling a service, which is the private membership. Okay, and the private membership's not a donation. It's like you get access to this exclusive private network and whatever else that could entail for you, right? And ultimately, here's the best spin I can put on it, okay? If you are someone who's doing very well and you have a tax burden in your life, I don't see why you couldn't contribute your $1,000 a month to my grand vision and helping 50 people that I have to do the work to make sure that logistically makes sense and do all this effort and actual steps in motion and everything. I don't see why that would not be some sort of business expense that is write-offable for that particular person who infused this idea of our grand vision and network, which would ultimately, I would think, decrease their tax burden. Okay, so the big pitch is like, hey, if that particular opportunity applies to you, where this is clearly a business expense, and it's not, we're not like faking a business expense, okay? I want to make like a serious, real network that provides services and connects people and like it does stuff, and like maybe it'll go way further. I don't know. It's all very new still, but the idea is like, hey, you want to just give the federal government that $1,000 because he didn't write it off, or I don't know, how about you invest in the new creator economy and not change the lives of 50 people, but have some small impact on the lives of 50 people, right? And then I know it's a long shot, it's going to take a lot of hard work and probably a million videos talking about the concept over and over and over. But I do think that I want this to be a part of the model and what I'm offering. And that's one of the reasons why I brought up why we have 4 tiers: $1 YouTube membership, the $10 fourth wall, the $100 fourth wall, the $1,000 fourth wall. For me, I'm just a little bit OCD about numbers. So in my mind, it's like, this could make no sense at all, but like, I would never charge $7 a month for something. Like, no, I need to charge $1. I need to charge $10. I need to charge $100. I need to charge $1,000. That is satisfying to me. And even if it doesn't make sense, I would know. I'm not charging $627 a month. No, $1, $10, $100, $1,000. So if you have any feedback on this idea, let me know. But I think it would be cool. I think it would be fun. Hell, if you're so inspired by what I'm saying right now, go to my freaking fourth wall. Click on the coffee mug at the bottom left-hand corner of my video and pick a tier. Join the vision. Join the network. Okay, join the freaking network. And let's do this, because I can put this into effect right away. There's not everything's set up. I got the whole system's there. All right, you can join the Discord. I'll get you linked up with the right role. If nothing else, if you're, just to be able to reach out to me, just join the $10 tier and onboard yourself through the Discord, and then just freaking DM me. Okay? You'll see me in there. So I think it's cool. And what if we could really get some momentum with this? Now we're like, the whole idea is to just create something awesome. Like, it's not enough to just be like, hey guys, I have a YouTube. Hey, I have this service. I'm selling you my service. Oh, I'm going to scare you to death and then pressure you into buying my service. No, can we not just actually make something generatively cool, something wholesome that helps people? Think about it. If this idea grew, what if like a couple years from now, like it takes off, and there's this hub, this nexus of all these YouTube creators. It's like, holy crap, like this YouTube thing actually really, really was worth doing. Because I really do see this as a system and an infrastructure that can change your life. I think YouTube is really cool. I think it's special. It's not perfect, but I think, I think it's something else, man. It's something else. Can't get it out of my head.